I never thought I'd say this about one of the world's most expensive cities, but Stockholm was absolutely worth every single expensive krona we spent there.
Oh, come on, Sarah. That sounds exactly like something a tourist brochure would say.
No, I'm completely serious. Hi, everyone. Welcome to English for Travelers. I'm Sarah.
And I'm James, and we just returned from a full week in Stockholm, Sweden. Sarah's apparently still on some kind of Scandinavian high.
Before we went, I honestly expected Stockholm to be, I don't know, cold and sterile. Like this beautiful but boring Nordic business city where everything costs a fortune and people never smile.
Right, exactly. I was picturing lots of glass skyscrapers, people in expensive winter coats walking super fast, and maybe some sad fish markets.
But our very first day in Gamla, that's the old town, completely changed everything for me.
Those narrow cobblestone streets were honestly like walking through some kind of fairy tale.
The colorful buildings. Every single one was painted a different shade. Deep reds, mustard yellows, soft oranges. It was like someone took a rainbow and applied it to medieval architecture.
But here's the thing. If you go to the main street after about 11 a.m., forget about actually moving anywhere. It becomes complete tourist central.
Oh my goodness, we made that mistake on day 2. We could barely walk through the crowds. But those little side streets with the tucked-away cafes.
Those were absolutely perfect. Just don't eat at any of the restaurants right on the central lanes unless you want to pay $35 for a basic sandwich.
The other absolutely must-see place was the Vasa Museum. James, tell them about that incredible ship.
Picture this, a massive 17th century warship that sank on its very first voyage and was perfectly preserved underwater for over 300 years. You can literally walk around the entire thing and see every single detail.
I actually got emotional looking at it. You could see the original carved decorations, the wood grain, the ropes.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. Just definitely buy your tickets online beforehand. We watched people wait in line for over an hour during peak times.
Smart tip. Now let's talk about food, because this is honestly where Stockholm really surprised me the most.
I was completely skeptical about Swedish meatballs. I mean, how amazing can they really be?
But they were absolutely incredible. The köttbullar came with these creamy mashed potatoes, this tangy lingonberry jam, and the most amazing rich, savory gravy.
Okay, I'll totally admit it. The balance of savory and sweet flavors was absolutely perfect.
And the gravlax. That's cured salmon served with mustard dill sauce. It was so incredibly fresh and salty with this lovely herbal taste from the dill.
Right, but my absolute favorite discovery was the cinnamon buns. Kanelbulle. They're not just cinnamon, though. They have cardamom and pearl sugar sprinkled on top.
Exactly. And you eat them during fika. It's like a coffee break, but it's this whole cultural thing where people actually stop and sit down together.
Which actually brings us to Swedish culture. Sarah noticed something really interesting on public transport.
Everyone speaks so quietly on trains and buses. At first, I honestly thought maybe people were being unfriendly, but it's actually about respecting personal space. And the queues are so incredibly orderly.
And they immediately switch to English when they realize you're a tourist. No awkward language struggles at all.
Punctuality is absolutely huge there. If you arrange to meet someone at 2 p.m., they mean exactly 2 p.m., not 5 past 2 p.m. Oh, and you always take your shoes off when entering people's homes.
But here's the biggest culture shock. Stockholm is basically completely cashless. We tried to pay cash at a small cafe, and they looked at us like we'd offered them seashells or something.
Oh, that reminds me of our total coffee disaster. James, you absolutely have to tell them about that embarrassing moment.
So we're sitting at this really cozy little cafe, and Sarah confidently orders coffee, expecting a latte or cappuccino, right?
Exactly. But they brought me this incredibly strong black filter coffee in this huge cup.
So she starts adding milk and even more milk, then tries to stir it with one of those tiny European spoons.
And I completely spilled milky coffee all over the wooden table. The barista was so incredibly sweet about it, but I was absolutely mortified.
Lesson totally learned. If you want a latte, specifically ask for a latte. Coffee always means black filter coffee in Sweden.
Speaking of learning lessons the hard way, we had some real trouble with the public transport system at first.
Stockholm uses these time-based tickets. So you buy a ticket that's valid for, say, 75 minutes total, not for one specific journey like most places.
And you absolutely have to validate it properly, or you can get this really expensive fine. We almost got in serious trouble on day one because we didn't understand the validation machines.
Right. Luckily, this really helpful local helped us figure it out, but it was pretty stressful for a few minutes there.
So, let's share our 3 most practical tips for anyone planning their own Stockholm adventure. James, start us off with number 1.
Number 1, completely forget about cash. Bring a contactless card or set up mobile payments before you go. Some places literally will not accept cash anymore, period.
Number 2, download the official SL Transport app and buy all your tickets in advance. Don't try to figure out those confusing ticket machines when you're rushing to catch a train.
And number 3, always have indoor backup activities planned. Stockholm weather can change incredibly quickly. One minute it's beautiful and sunny, the next minute it's absolutely pouring rain.
Perfect advice. So the big question, would we actually go back to Stockholm again?
Absolutely, without any doubt. But maybe in summer next time. I really want to experience those famous, incredibly long daylight hours everyone talks about.
I completely agree. Stockholm exceeded our expectations in absolutely every single way. For our listeners planning their own trip, don't just focus on saving money. Sometimes the experience really is worth the extra cost.
And remember, travel is all about stepping completely out of your comfort zone. Even spilling coffee everywhere can become a really great story later.
Thanks so much for listening to English for Travelers. If you have any questions about Stockholm or want to share your own travel stories, please reach out to us. Until next time, keep exploring the world.
Safe travels, everyone.